You're listening to the Dirty 20 podcast. My name is Fraser Shepherdson, your ever-faithful dungeon master. And before we begin today, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land upon which we are recording in Melbourne, Australia, the Wurundjeri people of the Eastern Kulin Nations. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and any First Nations people in our audience today. Sovereignty was never ceded. This is, and always will be, Aboriginal land. Now, on to the show. I have thought for a long time now, since we talked about starting this podcast back in July of last year, I think was the first time it was raised. I've been thinking a lot about what I want to say for the first episode, what I want my first impression to be, and I think I want to go on record by saying that I've conned you all. When we started playing D&D 2 years ago for the first time together, I'm sure it never occurred to you that I would swindle you into making a podcast with me.
No, I assumed that was the...
Oh, really? That was the
conclusion.
That was... You immediately kind of clocked onto that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good. No, I wanted to start a podcast for a long time and for years, but I knew I couldn't do it by myself. And for years, people told me, Fraser, don't start a podcast.
That's good advice.
Which is good advice, I suppose.
And here we are.
And here we are. Jokes aside, welcome to the first episode of the Dirty 20 podcast. This is really, really exciting. I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'll begin. My name is Fraser Shepherdson. I am... I'm the dungeon master of this group, and I am relatively new to the DMing scene. I started DMing 6 years ago.
Jesus.
That is relatively new, comparatively, because I've only DM'd 5th edition, whereas a lot of people out there I think have DM'd. They were DMing back in 3.5 and 4th edition. This is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. It is a quarter. Yeah. Oh jeez, I didn't need that.
We're young.
Yeah.
The guy who played the first ever edition.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
You can play the first
In a
edition of your...
Yeah.
In a dream.
I met Gary Gygax.
I'm an actor. I like to think of myself as a writer, even though I haven't written anything that's that I intend on publishing.
We're not supposed to tell them we're acting.
Now they have standards, Fraser.
Now they have standards.
I think it's important to be honest with our audience about who we are.
I got a long list then.
How would we describe ourselves if not actors? I'm a person.
I'm a professional idiot.
Actors aren't people.
No, but it's in like our profession. It's like I sit around, play Dungeons and Dragons.
We could just not be who we say we are, and they would never know.
Like an accountant.
What else should I say? How else should I introduce myself? I'm from a city called Perth originally, and I'm now living in Melbourne with these chumps. And I never know how to round off intros and pass it on to the next person. It's like, I'm excited. Over to you, Aaron.
Hi there, my name is Aaron Galeris. I will be playing the character of Missy, the High Elf Artificer, whose pronouns are they, them, but me, Aaron, my pronouns are he, him. I've been playing D&D for 2 years, and I'm very, very excited to get started.
Great, thanks Aaron. I'm Sol, the Lord Master of the group.
That's an official title.
I will be playing the character Archie, who is a human class yet to be decided.
What?
I just like to leave it a little bit secretive.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it won't be secretive for very long. I gained sentience when
2001.
when
Keep going.
a person named Alice came and decided to, and I wanted a brain, so I came to life.
I think he's talking about his birth.
And
This is a big introduction.
We're getting a blow by blow.
You notice how I sort of did just like 10, 15 seconds and sort of just passed on?
and then what happened?
Oh my god, Sol!
Yeah, that's about all that
Let's
is
throw it on.
interesting for me. Isha.
My god. My name is Isha Menon, and I'm playing, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing a little child halfling who I didn't quite realise how small she was. Yeah, it's a she, her as well. And
She's about 30 centimetres tall, I think is what we figured out.
She's a
and I want
standard
the
ruler.
record that Fraser has always been very supportive and happy with my decision to play a child in the
I
campaign.
have not.
You know, I can't wait till you.
Enthusiastic even.
I can't wait till your character gets kicked.
Oh my god, the first sign of physical violence against my character is going to be traumatic for everyone.
Fraser just leaves Emily. So.
And yes, that's all that's interesting about me. Did you go?
Hello, my name is Hugo Gutteridge. I'm playing Mace Khan, who is a Leonin barbarian. Leonin is like a lion person, and I started. My pronouns are he, him. I started D&D 2 years ago with this group, and yeah, I'm very excited.
Cool. My name is Jess Lou, and I am playing Rizzy in this campaign. I currently have a lisp, which I don't normally have. It's because I bit my tongue. So hopefully in the following sessions I don't speak like this. But it's going to be part of my character. So
I thought your character bit her tongue. You just really.
I'm method acting.
Yeah.
Deep into this shit.
And I'm really excited to play. Yeah, we've been playing for 2 years, and I feel like this is sort of an inevitable thing for actors to make a performance out of an enjoyable
Hobby.
pastime.
Yeah, we have to. We're not getting any help from anyone else.
We've had no support.
Oh no.
Yeah, awesome. So it's worth mentioning that we're playing in the 5th edition system. We will take the time to explain a few mechanics, though I wouldn't consider this podcast to be any sort of tutorial on how to play Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. There are loads of awesome resources out there, and we don't actually
know
play
how
that
to play.
well. So I
Send
wouldn't.
us a tutorial. That
That would be
really
great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome because we actually don't. What is this game? What did I say? 5th edition.
Pathfinder.
The world that we are playing in is an original world that has been in development for quite a while now. I first started writing it when I think it was 2018, I think, and then I brought it over to these guys, and we started our main campaign, our home campaign, I should say, in this world, and then they helped develop it with me, and yeah, it's been really, really cool to kind of create this thing and then hand it over to people and see what their input is. It's an original adventure as well, so it's one that's been written. It's not a pre-existing one. And we do use quite a few homebrew rules as well. So those are rules that aren't in the official Dungeons and Dragons book. They're things that just modify gameplay a bit, and we'll point those out as they come up.
I was also thinking maybe we will, when this episode comes out, and we've got our Instagram page live, we'll post the rules on our Instagram page,
Yeah,
so
cool.
people can like have a look and just so they're not constantly confused about what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Speaking of, our Instagram page is Dirty 20 Podcast.
At Dirty 20 Podcast, all one word.
All one
Gotta follow
word.
it.
And hopefully we have a world anvil up by the time that this has come out as well. Which Hugo and I have not started on, but you know,
It's a daunting website. We have lots of information.
but it's a wonderful tool, and if you want to sponsor us, get in touch. All right, let's play some D&D. Woo! Welcome to the world of the divine canvas. Every age of existence begins and ends with the artist and the architect, the two ultimate divine forces of creation which preside over a corner of the multiverse known as the divine canvas. The artist is a force typically associated with feminine energy and is responsible for seeding the divine canvas with life and breathing the 5 elements into existence: earth, fire, water, air, and the magical force known as colour. The architect is a force responsible for the natural laws that govern the world and its inhabitants, and is typically associated with masculine energy. The canvas is in its 500th age of existence, with the world of Kel Thayrin at its cosmological centre. The world where our story begins. It is the year 999 of the 500th age. 2 suns, almost past their zenith in the clear sky, beam down on a sturdy sailing ship called the Salt Wind, as it smoothly cuts through the ocean waves, wind filling the large sails. The smells of rusted metal and creosote mingle with each other and drift into the briny air. A tall, muscular dragonborn with scales the colour of the ocean shouts orders from the helm that are echoed back by the crew, who move fluidly about the deck. The journey so far has been pleasant, the wind's steady, and the skies clear as Kel Thayrin nears the new millennium. Now, amongst the crew on the Salt Wind, there are a variety of travellers and passengers who are travelling from the continent of Sassanil across the Darakas Ocean to the continent of Talon, where the mighty Sulkalut Empire exists. Everyone on this ship has their own reasons for travelling back. It's a very commonly travelled route. And amongst these travellers, this wealth of travellers, are 5 individuals. I imagine it begins with us looking down on the ship as it cuts through the waves, the sound of the waves bobbing against the hull, and the soft breaking of the waves as well. And we drift through the cargo hatch of the Salt Wind, and we see a group of people surrounding a man who steps backwards as he is clocked in the face by an enormous paw, and blood is pouring down his face, and everyone lets out this loud cheer, and it is this musky, smells of sweat and blood. Just, it is thick, and all of these sailors and burly-looking folks from all over who happen to be on the ship are crowded around, and this Leonin takes a step forward towards this man as he backs up, his eyes wild, and he's reeling, looking as if he's about to pass out. Would you like to describe what a Leonin is and what this Leonin looks like?
Yeah, so a Leonin is a lion person, in the sense that they are sort of like a minotaur, which has, a cow's head, but in this case it's a lion's head. And they are 6'6", and there is a lot of noise going on.
We are lucky enough to be blessed by the presence of a street cleaner out there.
Thank you very much.
Right outside the
which is
window.
awesome.
Anyway.
Damn you!
There's someone on
great
deck
start.
just with one of those
Yeah.
things. They're like,
That's what I-
You kids.
He's just designed one of those for the ship.
Sorry.
This particular Leonin are typically very, very large and quite well built. And this particular Leonin is 6'6". They are sort of tawny haired and have a large hairy mane. They're not wearing a shirt, in this case they're definitely not wearing a shirt, but they never wear a shirt. They have thick hemp pants on, and they've just got scars all over their body, including these sort of thick, clean, almost surgical scars running up their arms, back, and their neck. And they also have this sort of one defining feature that's sort of different about them, is they have a wooden medallion that's shaped like a sort of crudely cut axe around their neck. And they don't have their weapons on them, but that'll become apparent. And their name is Mace Khan.
The man with wild eyes and blood pouring down his face takes a step back and weakly raises his fists, and then shakes his head and spits out a glob of blood and saliva and looks back up at you. He is about to pass out. He has very little fight left in him, but clearly he has some kind of compunction about being defeated in battle. So he, all right then, Mace, is that your best shot? Roll to attack.
Hey! Hey, 15.
15 hits. And with that, you step in and with one final blow, an overhand strike just cracks him from the temple down to the jaw, and he stumbles back and falls down on his ass and puts his hands there, and everyone starts cheering, and this uproar goes up, and then there's the sound of heavy footfalls above you, and the cargo hatch swings open, and looking down on you is Captain Rashan, the dragonborn with scales the color of the ocean. And he looks down at the crowd and the fight that is taking place, and then, all right, that'll be quite enough, I think. Mace, was it?
Yes.
Please do try not to kill the crew. I know it's tempting, but we do rather need them.
Oh no, he's quite tough.
Back to work, you lot. And then turns around and leaves. And the man on the floor weakly stands to his feet and then shakily falls back down and then stands up again.
Can I walk and try and find like a kind of wet towel or some kind of wet thing and just go up to him, chuck it to him?
There's a rag that's like covered in creosote oil.
Yeah.
And he sucks it.
Yes. I give it to him and
Disgusting.
well done. What was your name?
Name's Custodian. You got a mighty fine punch there, mate.
Thank you. You're not too bad yourself.
He touches his nose and then it just cracks. And then one of the people in the crowd calls out, Custodian, you might want to go see that doctor about that. That looks pretty nasty. And he, yeah, I tend to think you're right. All right, well, give you another round in a few days.
For sure.
Yeah, sounds good. And he extends his hand to shake.
Dumb boy.
I take it.
Cool. And then we follow this gentleman as he turns around and stumbles through the crowd, walks through the lower deck of the ship, and then comes to a door to a cabin. And then there's as he knocks on the door. Doctor, I think I'll be needing your services at the moment if you're free.
I open the door.
The door swings open, and standing in the door is. Would you like to take over from here?
Yes. Standing at the door is a 5'10" elf, high elf, with rich auburn hair on one side of their head. The other side is buzzed, shaved. They have goggles that they're wearing currently on their forehead, and they have a thick leather apron, which you can see has many blood and oil stains all through it. They've got leather gloves on with similar markings, and this is Dr. Missy. Also, their full name is Misrandas Kelthaladron, and looking at them is kind of odd because they are, as befits their elven ancestry, incredibly naturally beautiful, almost magically beautiful, but it's also apparent that they put zero effort into looking like that at all. They're covered in blood, covered in grease, covered in oil, but it just shines through. I see this person, bruised and bloody. By the 9 levels of hell, get in here. Was it Mace again?
Yeah, might have been him. Might have.
Not. Sit down.
So Missy is not by no means the permanent surgeon of this ship either. I imagine she's probably just taken a cabin and converted it into somewhat of an infirmary.
Yeah, it's a combination of infirmary and like a workshop sort of thing. And you can already see there are tools everywhere. There's a little stretcher bed set up for patients and stuff like that. They've very much made it their own instantly.
Christed stumbles in. He slumps himself down on the bed and just touches his nose that is still bleeding quite heavily, and the door that was left ajar. He glances over to it and then it's that damn girl's cat again. I've been telling them that it's bad luck to have a cat on board, but no one seems to mind. Because she's 12 years old?
You just started a fight with a giant cat.
Oh, whatever.
You need to worry yourself less with the little cat and more getting punched in the face by a giant leonin. Good lord.
Sure enough, there is a very mangy-looking stray that wanders into the room and weaves themselves between Missy's legs.
Smelly, you dang thing. Amalda! Amalda, get your dang stinky cat out of here!
Oh, that's where she is!
The sound of very light footfalls, like almost inaudible given how small this individual is, come pattering towards the cabin. What does Amalda look like?
So Amalda Notwise Nortris, she is very small, and she's pretty much just all elbows and knees, just incredibly scrawny. And she's got very dark skin and thick dark hair that's been cut off at shoulder length because she thought it'd be cool to have short hair. And she's got these big dark eyes that are just way too inquisitive about everything around her. And her companion is a fat, grey, stinky cat that is a menace to literally everyone, for some reason puts up with her, unbeknownst to anyone around her, and is her best friend currently. That's who she's crawling all over the floor for, trying to reach as we speak.
Amalda, I've said I cannot have this cat in here during working hours. It is a hygiene danger to my patients.
Oh, but I gave her a wash the other day, though. You know, she definitely scratched my eyes out, but, you know, she's washed.
Not to mention it's bad luck having a cat on board.
You shut up. You have no right to speak about bad luck, all right? You've been out here punching cats already, so you stay calm. But seriously, it is a disgusting, mangy thing, and I can't come and eat it. It's been chewing on my tools.
Oh, did she pee on you again?
Not on me, but she's been peeing everywhere.
Oh, that's okay. I've been trying to potty train her, but all I've managed to do is tell her that instead of peeing on people's feet, she now pees on other things around people, so, yeah.
Amalda! One of the other children that is on board the ship comes running down. Oh, there you are! Archie's asking after you.
Oh, well, I found Smelly Belly if you want to meet her.
And I hold her up and her claws are literally extended rigidly.
And just starts hissing at this child and then, just come back, okay? And turns around and rushes off up above deck.
Wait, Amalda, before you go, I got something for you. And I go and I collect Amalda's, leather armor, which I stole in the middle of the night. And you can see it's got some runes now inscribed on it, sort of along the shoulder parts. And I go, I've been looking at your armor and I figured it could do some work, so here you go, take this. It's all new and improved. Hopefully Smelly Belly won't be able to scratch you through it quite as well.
Thank you. And yeah, sorry if she pees on something again. I think she's figured out that she likes your knives. So.
That's all right. Just try to keep her out of here during business hours.
Okay.
But you now have +1 AC
Yay.
to your armor.
Thank you.
Very nice.
This is all a group effort to try and stop the child from dying at an
Yes.
inauspicious moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you
Paramount.
overboard. No armor's gonna help you then.
Nah. So I grab Smelly Belly in a way that her belly is just portended under my arm, and then I race after the children.
And as you leave, you just hear, right now this is going to hurt a bit, but try not to scream. And you just hear this loud crack.
Just start screaming as the door closes to Missy's cabin, and we follow Amalda with Smelly Belly in her vice grip as she rushes above deck, and we can see that there are crew just going about their duties, tying off ropes and wiping down the deck. There are a few passengers here and there, and as you come up above deck, there's a woman who just leans over the railing and throws up into the ocean. And you follow the child towards a larger group of children who are sitting cross-legged near the mast, and on the mast there has been this some kind of I don't know what the medieval equivalent of a blackboard is. Some kind of just a plank of wood. Has been
like chalk and just on a...
Yeah.
We this is a highly researched podcast.
Yes,
we
it
take
is.
this very seriously.
Yeah. I take
I
my
believe
world
the
building very
exact
seriously.
term.
So there are these children crowding around the mast, which has this plank of wood that has been very haphazardly fastened to the mast, and it has these scrawlings and charcoal across it. And standing next to the wood with charcoal in hand is
Archie.
Archie. What does Archie look like?
Archie is a very tall, 6'4", extremely skinny, small-framed person. He has rough skin complexion, white skin complexion with unhealthy-looking red patches around his eyes and nose. He has a very long face, a very thin, delicate-looking nose, shoulder-length, graying, light auburn hair, darker brown, unkempt mutton chops. He has a bit of chub around his jawline. He's not the most attractive person. He has a very distinct red scarf tucked under some brownish tunic robe style shirt. He has 2 earrings pierced in the top of his ear, and he has an interesting, clean looking ring that is slightly pulsing red.
Mm-hmm. And the child that came and collected you, Amalda, turns and come on, and then they hurries over to the group of kids and pushes themselves in and takes a seat in front of you, Archie.
All right, lesson's almost over, okay? Now, just the final word for today, and Amalda, I've been looking for you everywhere. Where have you been?
I've already done this I already know this lesson, and I come for the special part at the end when you tell us a special word.
Yeah, all right. Look, I've had some complaints about the amount of profanity that's been in our special parts of the lesson, so today's special word is proboscis.
Aww.
What? It's fun. Proboscis.
But the last lesson you taught us how to say fuck, though.
Yeah, well, that's why I got complaints.
Oh, okay.
Because all you little snotty children have been going around, just screaming it from the rooftops.
They all start giggling with one another.
Well, maybe you should be proud of the fact that, we're taking pride in your lessons and practicing what we learn.
I don't want no funny business, no talk back from you, alright? Now, proboscis.
Biscuits.
Alright, I'm going to write on the board and you're going to remember it for next time, alright? And I will be quizzing you.
Is there a way that I can use fucking proboscis in the one sentence?
Absolutely, there is. I'm very proud of you.
Okay.
Amalda's immediately super interested in this lesson.
One of the children looks over their shoulder, clearly one of the children paying less attention to the lesson currently going on. Nearby the mast nearby the mast there is a large, what's called a mangonel, which is like a small catapult mounted in the center of the deck. And the way that the ship is kind of divided is there's the hold, which is the very, very bottom of the ship where all the cargo is stored. There's the lower deck where the cabins and the kitchen and the charts room is. There's the main deck, which is obviously where we are currently. And then there's the forecastle and the quarter deck, which are like these, I don't know what to call it, like these parts of the ship that are slightly raised at the very front of the ship and the very back of the ship. On the forecastle, there is a very impressive looking ballista. This ballista is of Vedalken make. Ooh. Now, the Vedalken people, not much is known about them in the world of the Divine Canvas, other than the fact that they arrived from somewhere else, somewhere completely otherworldly, and they have since somewhat assimilated into various societies across Keltharen, and they've gifted some of their technological prowess to the people as well. And walking around the ballista at the forecastle of the ship is a woman. What does this woman look like?
This woman is very tall, 6'6", bald, completely no hair, a blue that is like a royal blue that in the light sort of turns green, pointy ears and small gills on the back of her neck. She wears an elbow-length cloak that goes to her ankles, that also has a hood. Metal-heeled boots, which don't really look in place on a ship, but she wears them all the time. She's dripping in she's dripping in blue crystal jewellery that shimmers like the ocean does in the sun, and pants that look like an otherworldly sort of skin-tight chainmail. She has a warhammer slung across her back and 2 maces at her hips.
So one of the children at Archie's lesson stands up and rushes up away.
Where are you
from
going?
Archie.
Oh, fuck, not another one.
Rushes away towards the forecastle and calls out, Rizzy! Rizzy! And rushes in.
Yes, little one.
And then it comes up to you and just wraps themselves around your legs and gives you a hug, and then looks back. One of the other children was telling me that some of your people have 4 arms. Why don't you only have 2?
That's not quite correct. We all have 2 arms.
Oh.
But
Why did he tell me that?
you can believe that we have 4 arms. You would just be incorrect.
I'm going to believe that you have 4 arms.
Okay then.
Turns, looks over their shoulder and back down to Archie and the rest of the children. I gotta go. We're learning a word. Proboscis. Turns around and rushes off.
Why don't I come with you then? She chases after.
Yeah, and you chase after the child who grabs your hand and leads you down towards Archie.
Can I walk onto the main deck as well?
What's the word? What's the funny word they learn?
It's proboscis. But I did find out you can use fuck and proboscis in the same sentence, so you can make it something like that.
What's proboscis mean?
I don't actually know. I didn't bother asking.
Yeah, good question actually. I think it means like something
Is
to
it
do.
like fuck?
No, you
or
know,
shit?
like mosquitoes.
Oh, does it mean a mosquito?
No, they've got proboscises.
But which part? There's a lot of parts in the mosquito.
Yeah, maybe it's the wings.
I think you'll actually
Anyway.
find that a proboscis
That's
is
not a fun word.
part of the flower, and it's the middle part that helps bees pollinate.
Oh, you can't really use that with the word fuck.
I don't know
though.
if that's right actually. Look, I don't know if you're taking the lesson here, but I'm at
Can
the
I
front.
use the word? Can I use the word proboscis to mean whatever I want, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck I want? In fact.
Yeah, put it in a sentence for me, and we'll see.
Okay.
We'll just see how it sounds. If it sounds
All
good,
right. Okay.
that's right.
So what if I said to you, you're a big, grotty old proboscis?
That is perfect. That is.
Okay, I like this one.
You are my favourite student.
Oh, thank you.
Archie,
Hey.
have you been teaching them swear words?
No.
I just sort of like give them a very dubious look.
Suddenly, there's a chorus of shouts that go up from the crew, and they start to scramble everywhere, frantically drawing in the sail. And there's this order that echoes across the ship: says, "All hands, full stop! Sails in, bring us to a full stop!" And everyone starts to look around at what's going on. And not far from the ship now, there are these low breaking waves, which signify the presence of a reef. And it isn't much longer before all the children start to get up and scream, and a few of the passengers start to look like out towards the reef and to see what's going on. But the ship starts to slow, and these shouts keep going and going and going. But it's not enough, and the ship is suddenly brought to a very abrupt stop. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
If I'm on below deck, do I have advantage? Fuck.
No.
If anything, you'd have disadvantage.
It's a dex saving throw.
19.
19.
So that's 16.
Ooh. Ooh.
3.
First nat 1 of the session.
Congratulations! We seem to have a habit of rolling either natural 20s or natural 1s really frequently.
Yep.
So that's one for the tally. Okay, so we had a 3, a natural 1, a 16,
Five.
a 5,
19.
and a 19. Okay,
does
so
make sense. We are the tallest.
everyone save Amali and Missy are knocked prone as you're thrown forward and onto the deck. And a lot of
I think
the...
because that Missy's come up to the deck.
Yes.
Like, by the nine hells, what is going on?
So there are people picking themselves up and looking around, and the ship has essentially been brought to a complete stop. And pandemonium starts to rise before there's a shout from Captain Rashan, who is up at the quarter deck behind the wheel. They come forward and they put their hands on the railing and... All right, that's quite enough. We will figure out who is responsible for this, but first, I think the priority is getting the ship moving. Crew, see what you can do, and pushes back. Passengers, don't worry yourselves, this shouldn't take very long. And then the crew begin to unfurl the sails. A couple of them start to prepare rowboats to try and pull the ship away from the reef. And a few of them throw a rope ladder over the side of the ship and they start climbing down to the reef to see if there's any way that they can dislodge the ship, which is now essentially... I don't know what the word for it is when a ship gets stuck. The ship is now stuck and there's ocean everywhere on all sides. Beached.
Captain.
Yes. Missy,
if it-
was it? Dr. Missy?
Dr. Missy, thank
Pleasure.
you. If I can provide basic repair services, if I can be of any help, I can fix wood, stone, metal.
Well, I appreciate that, Doctor. Bosun Kiris will take care of the repair effort, and if they need you, I'm sure they will let you know. Thank you.
No worries. Was anyone hurt? Any scrapes, bruises, bumps?
I think I was holding Missy for a second there, but she kind of flew out of my hand, so I don't know.
You were holding me?
No, Missy. No, not Missy. Smelly Belly. I know what I'm talking.
I know the name of my cat.
And then the cat with Missy's face on it is just stumbling.
Oh my fucking god! Mace, can I talk to you real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see your hands, paws? What do you call them? Hands. I've been treating some of your, let's say, victims down in my office for a while now, and how are your hands feeling? They must be a little bit bruised by now.
I look down at my hands, which have like almost just patchy bits of hair because the rest is just scars and calluses.
Yeah, look, I'm not here to encourage violence. I am a medical professional, but if you are going to commit heinous acts of violence upon other members of this crew, you should at least do it safely.
That's why I don't use my claws.
No, I mean for you, not for them. Also, that's also good. And I get some tape out. I just start taping your hands. It's like, this should provide some security because you don't want to break a knuckle or anything like that. So, be smart when you're beating the hard-working members of this crew half to death.
You're a machine, Rocky.
And if you can't avoid the nose, it's just that takes a lot longer to heal. Mm-hmm. So jaw hits would be good, or gut shots.
Nose discombobulates them.
Yeah, and we need our crew members to be at their best.
Mace has no comprehension.
Why did they fight me then?
They're salt of the earth people. They need some excitement to keep them going, but be nice to them. Okay. You're a big boy. Most of them are significantly smaller than you. So, go maybe slap. You could slap them.
Okay.
Thanks, Missy. And I'm just going to tape up your hands.
I'm gonna sidle up to Mace.
Did you slap him?
Oh, what? What is your problem?
She told me to.
All right. Look, now, just don't do that. Now, did you win again?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we talked about this. You weren't winning, remember?
There was no betting this time.
Not that you know of.
Oh.
And I pull out a small coin pouch. Look, I gotta fill this up somehow, right? Now, I know it's hard for you to comprehend, right? But there's a whole scheme behind it. You're big and muffly, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those sailors have got big bellies. They don't look very intimidating. So if they win, I get money.
Right.
And then I give you 5%. It's a lot of money.
How much money?
5% worth.
May starts counting his hands.
And without
That's
warning,
half the numbers.
without warning, there is a scream
Okay.
that happens coming from over the side of the ship down towards the reef, and people rush over towards the railing, and then one of the crew shouts out, "Sea devils, Captain! There's sea devils on the reef!" And they all look. You rush over to this railing, and you look over the edge, and you can see there are 4 sailors which have made their way down onto the reef, and climbing up over the edge of the reef towards them are these strange Piscine-looking anthropomorphic creatures that have this blue skin and these wide mouths like a shark, and these big wide eyes, and they carry these very crude looking spears, and they're just pacing across the reef towards the sailors who are now scrambling to get up the rope ladder. And one of the captain, Rushan, comes rushing down to the railing and then orders, "Muskets! Muskets now!" And then one of the crew shouts back to them, "Captain, the muskets are below deck, they'll be dead before we get them!" And then people start to scream as the sailors are scrambling to try and get up the rope ladder. What are you guys doing?
I am going to run to, I imagine my weapons are just leaning somewhere. So I rush and I grab 3 javelins and a light crossbow, put them around my back, and then grab a large sledgehammer maul that's like a giant rock welded to a thick piece of timber, and I just jump off the side of the boat onto the reef.
Roll initiative.
Oh god. Oh,
Terrible
no.
roll.
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrible
what's
rolls.
happening with us?
That's a 7.
7 for Mace. Rizzy?
7.
7 for Rizzy. Archie?
4.
4 for Archie. Amali?
9.
9.
Oh my
no.
god.
Missy?
7.
At least we're all going together.
Well, they rolled
Terribly as well.
pretty trash as well.
Yeah,
So,
boy.
Mace, you leap over
Oh my gosh.
the edge of the railing, and you come splashing down.
Should I make it?
You will take, because you fell 10 feet roughly, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the reef. Now, are you wearing shoes?
Oh,
Do you think?
you fucking...
He doesn't wear shoes, but he's got pretty thick pads.
Okay.
Like beneath. It's like the equivalent of shoes, is what it said.
All right, well, I'll give you resistance, but the reef is
what's it?
very, very sharp. So you take an additional 2 points of piercing damage as you land next to the sailors who are trying to scramble up this rope ladder. The creatures that have climbed onto the reef are 30 feet from you, and this is considered difficult terrain as they come just wading through the water towards you. At the top of the round is one of them, and they're going to come forward 15 feet using all of their movement, given it is difficult terrain, and then they are going to bring up their spear and they just throw it towards one of the crew who are trying to scramble up the rope ladder, and they will hit with a 12.
Weak crew.
One of the crew takes a total of 7 points of piercing damage as they are struck in the back by this spear. Let me just double check what their
Yikes.
health
I thought all
is.
the crew were level 20 though.
Okay, that one dies.
Oh my god.
Just struck in the back of the
shit.
spear, eyes go wide, and they just flop back into the ocean. Their body now just floating limply in the shallow water above the reef. It is now Amali's turn. What are you doing?
I think I run to the edge of the railing and I see what's happening and I get really frightened, and so I just open my mouth and all of the wonderful cuss words that I learned under Archie's tutelage come pouring out.
That's my girl.
So I cast Vicious Mockery on...
How far is the...
it's
Range?
60 feet.
60
it's
feet.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah,
so, could you describe one of these strange creatures for me? Some feature that distinguishes them from the others.
So they have an eyebrow piercing with just a little sort of like hand carved little love heart hanging off it.
Oh, how nice.
Yes.
I wonder how they got that.
And then I'm gonna kill them. That is a fucking...
Are you doing vicious mockery?
Vicious mockery.
Oh no, that means they have to make a wisdom 13 save.
Wisdom 13. They succeed with a 17.
Okay, nothing happens. I just cuss at them for
Nothing
a
happens.
minute. Yeah.
So as you rush forward and you
proud of
start to cuss at them, but there's this strange kind of musicality to it.
Yeah.
As Amali, maybe I'm not sure the way that you've designed this, but maybe it's almost unconscious the way that the color sort of flows through you and comes out in this musical cussing. But for whatever reason, these strange creatures on the reef don't seem to. The one that you targeted, at least, does not seem to pay any mind to it. Next up is Mace.
Awesome. So Mace is going to... just a quick question. If I have 35 feet, can I move 20 feet? Can I move...
You round up, so we'd just say it'd just be 15.
15?
15
Okay.
feet. Yep.
Well, Mace is going to...
I think I'll check that.
bonus action rage.
Nice.
So he's just gonna... You just see him like start shaking, and then gets his warhammer sledge thing and runs straight up to the creature that was in front that moved 15 feet, so I guess they meet.
Yes, what does this creature look like?
It has like a hammerhead's head,
Oh, sick.
except one of its eyes is sort of whited out and blind,
Yeah.
and it has a sort of scar on its chest that looks like a whirlpool.
Awesome. That's a really cool looking creature.
And Mace is gonna make a bloody attack against it.
And the whole time that this is the whole time that this is happening, there are screams from the crew and the passengers as Amali rushes forward, unleashes this string of insults which has no effect, and Mace splashes forward towards this one which has just killed one of the crew.
That is a 17 to hit.
17 definitely hits. Roll damage.
Cool. Oh, it's 2d6. 9, 12 damage.
12 damage.
Yeah.
So you rush in with your warhammer, is it? A huge...
Oh, it's a maul.
maul.
It's just the sledge of stone.
Yeah, this crude maul as you just rush in, splashing across the reef. You do take a single point of piercing damage from the sharp reef beneath your feet, and you just crack, get this thing in the side, and you hear a few of the ribs break as it looks up at you. Its eyes start to just go black and completely envelop the whites of the eyes.
I forgot. Also, just a question with rage. Do I take no damage or just 1 damage?
That's a good point. You would take 1 damage,
Yep.
I'd say. That's as a minimum. Okay, it is now Missy's turn on the deck of the ship.
If I get to the side of the ship and I see it, can I climb down the rope ladder as like that's my movement?
That'll be all of your movement, yeah,
Okay.
to climb down.
So I'm going to do that having seen the sailor get a javelin thrown into them.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like dying, like, death saving throws sort of thing?
They've been killed outright.
What?
Yeah.
They had like 3 health?
Yep, very little health.
Okay, so I sort of crouch down that and I'm like, the 9 hells, dang it. And I look up and I see these things and I go, Mace, be careful, will ya? And I reach into my bag and I pull out my gun called Sword. And I'm going to have a pop at... how many are there, sorry?
There are 4 of them. One has been described as having an eyebrow piercing in the shape of a heart, and the other has a hammerhead with a blind eye and a whirlpool scar.
I'm going to go for eyebrow piercing.
Eyebrow piercing, go for it.
Use my new to hit thing. 11 to hit?
11 does not hit, unfortunately. So there's this explosion of light and smoke, and...
Oh, I should say, so the way I load this gun, because now it has my artificer infusion on it, so I do not need to put ammunition in it, per se, so I sort of reach up into the air and move my hand down to load it, and this like purple bullet forms in the air as I load it, and it fires off, but as it goes past, as I miss my target, it sort of dissipates into the air again.
Awesome. Awesome. So we now come to the sailors' turn. They spend their turn scrambling to get up the rope ladder because there are 3 of them now, just in a panic trying to get up. They only get halfway up the ladder. But they are like looking down as the rope ladder's swinging to and from, and a few of the crew are leaning over the railing on the deck of the ship and holding it steady for them, just saying, "Come on, come on, come on!" It is now Rizzy's turn.
All right, I'm gonna go for the one. So I'm gonna run up to like the railing, and I'm gonna just like stick my arm out and go for the one with the eyebrow piercing, and do guiding. No, yeah, guiding.
Yes!
Guiding.
Do it! Guide that bolt.
14.
14 hits.
Yeah, boy!
Need some D6?
No, I'm just gonna do it on the calculator.
But I'm gonna make the ambience.
Ready?
2, 1.
Nice.
15 points
Good
of
roll.
damage
15 points of damage.
with the
Nice
guiding
one.
bolt. Yeah, and that's all I do.
Okay, so
I'm also gonna take out my warhammer and with one hand.
So you draw your warhammer rushing forward as the sailors are scrambling up the rope ladder. What does guiding bolt look like? Do you have an idea of the aesthetic of this spell?
Yeah, so it looks like a yellowy sort of like water effect. Oh no, that looks like piss.
Shoots forward.
Alright, no, I'll do green.
Slightly yellowy
and
if
it's
you
like,
get dehydrated.
it sort of ripples like water, but then as it reaches the target, it like hardens up and becomes really like violent looking.
Awesome. So this
Shimmering.
Violent piss.
this streak of this green fluid-looking substance just comes out from nowhere from Rizzy's arm as she channels the color, which is the magical energy, into her, weaves it into the guiding bolt, and it streaks down towards the one with the eyebrow piercing. And as it gets closer, it hardens into what looks like an icicle almost, as it is struck in the chest, falls back briefly, and then stands back up and begins to limp forward a little bit. Its eyes now, they've gone. You could see that the black of their eyes is like shrunk.
It's shimmering as well at the moment because we have advantage on our next.
Very cool. And it is now, there's this green sort of shimmer around it, making it more visible. Archie, it is now your turn.
Alright. Would it be possible to have a look around at the kids, make sure they're all right, and also have a look around if there's anything I can put in the sling that I whip out of my belt?
So the kids are cowering on the up against the railing, and they are okay, but they're very, very frightened.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no cannonballs, but you could probably find, I'd say...
I don't think I could lift up a cannonball.
No.
I feel like because Missy doesn't need their ammunition anymore, because I've got 20 bullets. I probably would have given at least 10 to...
Okay, I'll allow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. They're very, very small, but yeah.
Well,
That means
they're
I
like
can-
they're like musket shots.
Musket balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means I can piff them really hard.
Yeah, I'll allow it. You'll take a penalty to the damage, but I will allow it.
Yeah, that's okay. So seeing the kids all right, feeling the musket bullets, I chuck one in my sling and I run over to the side of the boat. Do they look to be 30 feet away?
They are probably the one that has come forward. The hammerhead is probably within. Yeah, I'd say
Alright.
within 30 feet.
Well,
Are we
I
gonna
wind
play
up
the
my
fact
sling
that
and
I'm
I let
directly
one
between-
loose.
So we have a higher AC.
He
Your
is
height
above you.
advantage.
He is above
Yeah.
you. So
True, height advantage.
Yep.
That works.
I really want to hit
Pythagoras.
Mace though.
Well, that one, you probably
natural
will.
one, you might.
All right. Natural 20.
Natural 20. First natural 20 of the podcast. Roll some damage for me.
So how are we doing natural 20s? You roll twice.
Yes, we'll roll twice, doubling the damage dice.
Is that homebrew or not?
No, that's the official rule set.
So that is 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
6 points of bludgeoning damage, as it is, and you will take a -1 to the damage as well, given it is a musket ball, not appropriate for the sling. But you, and it flies straight and true.
You know how golfers sort of leave their swing, like
Yeah.
after they swing, they look over the thing, and I swing up and I just leave my armor for a bit.
Leave it there, and the musket ball streaks towards this creature and hits it in the other eye that was not blinded on the hammerhead as it begins to reel from the damage it has sustained, and it is now its turn. It is actually going to take the disengage action from you, Mace. It's going to stumble back, having been hit twice now by yourself and and Archie's sling, and it is going to turn around and start splashing away from you. And it actually, as it takes a few steps, it dives down, so it's like just beneath the surface and begins to swim, and it gets a total of 40 feet away from you. As it is swimming away, it is now one that has not been described yet is going to come towards, it circles around, coming 15 feet towards you, Missy. What do you notice about this creature as it brings up its spear?
It is just entirely missing its top lip. So you just see like teeth.
That's disgusting.
It's like it looks like it's been bitten off.
Yeah.
Oh, like-
Ugh. Yuck. Okay, so this creature with a missing upper lip and its teeth just bared, looking particularly frightening, comes splashing forward, brings up this very crude spear and goes to throw it at you, Missy. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
That does hit.
That will do it. You take a total of 5 points of piercing damage as it cuts open your arm, as it doesn't make proper contact, but slices open a pretty nasty wound on your shoulder. And that is going to be its turn. Now, another one which has also not been described yet is going to use its action to dash towards Missy.
Is there 4 of them?
There are 4 of them. Yes, one of them is retreating. What do you notice about this one as it's charging towards you, circling around Mace and coming in for the kill?
Inordinately large ears, just big ears.
Yeah, okay.
Just human-shaped ears.
So
like human-shaped ears.
these
on their
creatures,
head.
I was about to say, these creatures have these fins on either side of their head, which look as if they could be ears, but clearly aren't. And these things are huge on this one. Okay, that brings us back to the top of the round. It is the one with the eyebrow piercings turn. This one is also going... No, this one is going to come forward as well. It is going to run up towards you, and it has this crazed look in its eye, and as it like bears these long, these dark green claws, it approaches you and is going to make an attack. The first one is an 8 to hit.
Miss.
The second one is a 11 to hit.
Miss.
Okay, so both attacks. Just you step backwards and maybe catch one of them on your maul. It is now Amali's turn.
So who are the ones engaged? You've got a couple on Missy. You've got the eyebrow piercing mate, and you got eyebrow. You've got eyebrow. Okay, so I think I'm going to. I'm going to focus in on eyebrow piercing, and I'm going to I reckon this is something I was seen maybe once that my mum did to someone when she was in a really bad mood, and I'm going to start singing but slightly off key, and so I'm going to try casting Dissonant Whispers on the eyebrow piercing dude.
Okay.
So that's a Wisdom 13 save.
Wisdom 13 on eyebrow piercing. It's a natural 4.
Yes!
Failed.
Okay, so
Talk
they
to me
take.
about Dissonant Whispers.
So they take. So you can hear me. So they take 3d6 damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, 3d6 damage, and then they have to use their reaction to get away from me as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Hey, so that is
16.
That's
16
Yeah, 16
damage.
What did you roll? 2 6s?
2 6s and a 4.
Oh, you annihilate that one.
Oh,
with the Dissonant Whispers as you begin to weave this slightly off-key song. In front of Mace, it begins to. These eyes are purely black at this point as it steadies itself for another attack, opening its mouth, and then this strange sort of slack expression comes over its face, and its eyes just begin to close a bit, and then it rocks back and forth, and then just its neck just breaks, and then it splashes into the water in front of you, dead. And with that, it is your turn.
Okay. Are there any creatures that I can get to?
I would say that you can double back and get to either of the ones that are on Missy. Missy's currently being flanked.
Sorry. They're both on. I thought one was throwing.
You're right. Yeah. Sorry, my mistake. One of them is on Missy, and one is 15 feet from her. You could get to either of them.
I'm going to go to the one that's 15 feet from her.
Yep.
From them. Thank you. And reckless attack it.
All right.
Because I have that now, which means I have advantage. This is a question for another thing.
Okay.
How do I roll it up?
Thank God. So one is a 18 to hit.
18 definitely hits.
Yeah,
Roll some
but now
damage.
it has advantage on me, which is unfortunate.
What is
there
this
we go.
music?
Is this Angry Birds?
I love it.
So 9 plus 2 is 11, plus 3 is 14 damage.
14 points of damage. Very nice. So you just blindside this thing, I imagine, as you come in and just shunt it forwards, and it falls over, and you bring up your maul and just crunch down on it as it just like splashes around like a fish out of water for a moment, and then stands back up and just bares its teeth at you. It is now Missy's turn.
Can I bonus action Daunting Roar? Is Reckless Attack a bonus action?
I'm not sure.
It's just a thing that you can choose to do, right?
I don't know. It's your class.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with any of that. So I'm going to bonus action Daunting Roar. So it needs to take a D12 Wisdom save.
Fails on a natural 4.
Yeah. Right, it's right. No, it can't move any closer.
So as it gets up,
disadvantage.
Yeah, with
Which
disadvantage.
Negates the reckless.
Incredible. So this creature stands up and goes to face off with you. It snarls at you, and then you just let out this hugely, this really, really loud roar, and it just stumbles back and looks at you, and its eyes do that thing where they begin to shrink, and it is now Missy's turn as you hear this roar from Mace and see this creature just cowering in front of him.
All right, Mace. All right. And I would just like to quickly thank the two of you, and I'm talking to the two monsters, the one on me and the one that was attacking me, for participating in my experiment.
Oh, no.
Now, I assume Mace came in sort of from the side for this creature?
Yep, the one that's 15 feet from
I reach into my bag and I get this hose out,
Okay.
and I point it at it, and I say, taste some of Missy's caustic brew. And they both need to make dex saves.
Dex saves. Okay, so this is missing lip and large ears. Natural 20 for missing lip, and that is a 10 for large ears.
So that's the distance.
Large ears is the one on you. Missing
Okay,
lip is
so
the
I
Mace's
managed
attack.
to spray large ears in this acid, and at the beginning of from all of its turns, it will take 2d4 damage. It can spend an action, or anyone can spend an action to scrape the acid off.
Awesome.
And this is a concentration spell.
Awesome. Very cool. So as Mace roars, Missy takes out this strange hose contraption from her bag, and I imagine the force of it maybe catches you off guard, so you like are kicked back by it, and you spray this one in front of you as it is covered with this caustic acid. The sailors now climbing the ladder. They look down at their fallen friend, but climb up to the top of the ladder and are hauled onto the deck by the other crew. And it is now Rizzy's turn.
Alright, I'm gonna see Missy being attacked and do another guiding bolt. Am I allowed to do that?
I believe so. Does Guiding Bolt take up a spell slot?
does.
It does.
Okay, so you would have 2 spell slots, I think, at your level, or maybe more.
I have 3.
You have 3.
And then do another guiding bolt towards the one that's on Missy
Yep, the one that's just been sprayed with acid.
with acid.
Awesome.
And try and hit it. 8.
8 does not hit,
Alright.
unfortunately.
And then I'm gonna swing down onto the reef.
Okay, so you're just going to jump over the railing.
Is there rope ladders?
There is a rope ladder.
But it's being used.
You'll have to, it's at the sailors are currently at the top of it, crawling onto the deck, so you won't be able to get onto it. Okay, cool. So that is Rizzy's turn as you conjure up another guiding bolt, but it fizzles in your hand as you don't. Actually, that's quite cool.
It
So
just becomes slime on the deck.
you cast this green fluid which streaks towards the one with the large fins on either side of its head, but it doesn't solidify and it just splashes across it and dissipates. It is now Archie's turn.
Damn, next
All right,
time.
all right. So there's none in 30 feet of me now.
The one on Missy's probably within 30 feet,
Alright.
because that one is right at the base of the ship.
So I'm gonna subtly try and cast X. Well, try and do subtly on that one.
A subtle hex
A subtle X.
on that one. Yep.
And then I'm just gonna go for another pot shot. Another natural 20.
Yeah, boy.
We told you, it's all 20 and 1s here.
20s and 1s.
So that's a
I've not had a single dirty 20 yet.
Oh, max damage.
So that's 10 damage plus. Do I double the d6 as well for hex?
No.
So 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage. You'll see that is reduced to 12 given the muskets. Still a very good hit.
How
As
was
you,
that again?
What a missy.
I imagine your eyes flash this sort of. What color do you think your eyes would flash as you channel the hex?
Green.
Green. So there's this flash of green in your eyes, and you focus in on this creature that is still flailing about from the caustic acid, and then the musket ball flies straight and true, somehow, despite its weight and size, and not being appropriate for a sling.
I just kiss my back.
Kiss your bones as it swells slightly. And this creature is clocked in the side of the head. It is now the one with the hammerhead's turn. They are going to... Yes, they're in front of you, Mace. Is that right?
They swam away from me.
No, they did swim away from you. Yes, awesome. So that one continues to swim away and disappears over the edge of the reef and down into the ocean. The one with the missing lip is going to... Can't make an attack against you because it's frightened.
It has disadvantage.
Has disadvantage, but if it's frightened, it has to move away. Oh, no, that's not true.
No, it just means it has disadvantage.
Yep. Okay, so... But it just is a straight roll, isn't it, given the reckless attack?
Yeah.
Okay, so this thing, despite looking up at you and sort of quaking with fear, it is just overtaken by this bloodlust and comes charging in. And actually, I think, if I'm correct about Sahuagin, has advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature that doesn't have all of its hit points.
Ooh.
So it does get advantage, and it's going to make 2 attacks
Whatever.
against you.
Damn.
First one is going to be a 12 to hit.
No.
And that's less than that, so the first attack does not hit. Second attack, 12. Nothing.
Yeah!
So despite having advantage, this
a-
thing lunges in with a claw and then opens its mouth wide, tries to bite you, and you probably just grab it by the throat and shove it backwards.
Yeah, I imagine Mace hasn't done this in a while, and I think he is just loving it, dodging, grabbing, pushing away.
Awesome.
One-on-one is his thing. Like, he's a gladiator, so...
Yeah, fantastic. So this now at the beginning of the one with the large ears is turned as it's just
Takes damage.
starting to flail against the caustic acid as it burns into its skin.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage, and it is now in a wild effort to stay alive. Doesn't quite really know what it's doing. It's just going to lash out with 2 attacks against you. Do you have all of your health, or you've taken
No.
damage? Okay, with advantage. 10 to hit, natural 1.
Mission Impossible music.
Son of a bitch.
Are we doing opportunity attacks on natural ones?
Do you have a melee weapon drawn?
No, but can I use my gun? I was thinking that could be a D4.
Yeah, so the
the
butt
butt
end of your
of the
gun.
gun?
Yeah, go on.
Nice.
Add your strength modifier to it.
Go on, Dan.
On the damage?
On the damage,
And
yes.
to hit, would I just use its normal to hit thing?
I would say for that one,
Probably be strength as well.
Do the same as an unarmed strike.
yeah, it's an unarmed strike, I'll say.
Which is...
Should say
Should
it
just
should
be
say
on
at
your
the bottom of your.
Oh yeah, +3.
Yeah.
14.
14 hits.
So 1d4 plus my strength
Plus your
modifier.
strength,
2 damage.
2 points
Nice.
of damage. So it takes, like, you bring up the butt of your gun and it just, like, clips off the side of its jaws. It's
Get out! Get!
gonna make one more attack with advantage. My god, that's a 9. That will hit, that's an 18.
Does
on
hit.
the second attack. You take a total of...
What type of damage is this?
This is slashing damage. You take 5 points of slashing damage as it comes across and just rakes a claw across your belly. It is now the top of the round. It is Amali's turn.
Okay, I think having cast that and see its neck broken, I'm just like, that was so cool. I'm going to take my dagger and I'm going to try and peg it at the one, because we've got one covered in acid right now, one attacking Mace. Is that it? The other 2 are running
it.
away.
One swimming away.
One swum away,
dead.
the other one is dead.
Okay. I think inspired by Archie, I'm going to be like, oh, I reckon I can do this. So I'm going to throw the dagger. Where the
Are you going for the one on Mace?
no, for the one on Missy. So actually, yeah, because it would have to be 20 foot.
Yeah, so it wouldn't get to the one Mace. Oh, would
It would 20. Is it within 20 foot?
20 feet.
20 feet. Shut.
20 foot. 1
Because if
foot,
Missy's right
20
near
of 1
the.
foot.
Yeah, it's right at the base of the ship. I would say it is within 20 feet because Mace only took 10 foot of bludgeoning damage
Okay,
when he
alright.
jumped off.
So I'm gonna try to get it.
Wow. So for those of you listening along at home, Isha has an aversion to rolling dice normally for some
hate
reason.
you.
We've tried to
literally
figure it
threw
out.
that.
We've
You
tried
did-
to teach her.
You literally threw that full
It just launched across the table. She was
Okay.
aiming for Hugo's dice tray, but it
I
ended
even
up.
had like my hand was
Okay.
used as like a backboard,
Okay,
and she threw it
okay.
over
Threw
my
it
hand.
over it.
Did
Fine.
you hit?
It was a 10.
It was a 10. A 10 does not hit.
Okay, well, fine. I'm gonna use my bonus action when that I just lose a dagger. I'm going to sing my favorite nursery rhyme, and that gives Mace bardic inspiration.
Can you reach me?
Yeah, because it's within 60 foot.
Okay, sorry.
Great.
That's
Okay,
okay.
it is now Mace's turn.
Sick.
As you hear the dulcet tones of Amali's young voice echoing across the ocean.
It works. It does the job. I am going to stare back at this creature and do just one more reckless attack and just bring my maul down on top of its head.
Awesome.
Go on, Dan. Yeah, nice.
So that's a dirty 20.
Was that a call out of the name of the podcast?
It just might be.
So a dirty 20 is what we have called when you make a roll, and it might equal, the roll might be a 17 on the actual dice, and there could be a modifier of +3.
An
which
unnatural
equals-
20.
An unnatural
Yeah.
20, if you will.
All right. Yeah. So that is
Max
max damage. So that is What is matched at? 17 damage.
Yeah, that thing is dead.
Yeah.
As you bring up the maul and just you cave in the top of its skull as it just falls to the ground, its neck broken, its skull just in pieces, and dark blue blood begins to just seep into the water around it as it's floating limply beneath your feet.
Nice.
Does that conclude your turn?
And then I'm going to go back to the one towards Missy. Also, I should probably take damage for previous round and this round in terms of movement.
In terms of movement, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. 1 point of damage, and so 3 points of piercing damage altogether from
Rounded
your
down to
movement. That was all rounded.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, I roll a concentration saving throw because I got hurt.
Oh, yes.
And the acid disappears.
The acid disappears, so the acid just
Roll
seems
the
to vanish
natural
off
one.
this
Thank you very much.
creature. So when a player casts a spell that requires concentration, meaning their character has to concentrate on maintaining the spell, if they take damage or are attacked, they need to roll in order to maintain it. So that's what just happened there. So that brings us to the end of Mace's turn and brings us to the beginning of Missy's turn.
Okay, I mean...
The one with the large ears is rocking back and forth.
What are the rules
very
again
hurt.
for using a ranged weapon attack on something that's right up in your business?
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just go for that. I'm gonna raise my muscle, just like try to like angle it and just shoot it right in front of me. So I have disadvantage. It's gone. 9.
So you rock backwards, and I imagine you take a step backwards to try and angle the musket up directly underneath its chin, but you slip on the reef and splash down.
Dang, 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 dang. Can someone kill this dang thing for me?
Rizzy,
I'm still kissing my
is it going to be you?
I hear Missy like cry for help, and I'm like, okay, I can try.
Or a heal, frankly. I'm a bit hurt.
The crew at this point and the passengers are starting to cheer. The fear seems to have dissipated, and they're seeing you all perform and kill these things, and they're starting to, yeah, kill it, kill it, kill it. Just bloodthirsty.
Alright, calm down.
I'm gonna charge up another guiding bolt and just hope for the best.
You got this, you got this, you got this.
Okay, a 13.
Definitely hits.
Oh, hell yeah! Cool. Sorry. 4d6.
Hold on, just let me
So,
get the
ambience.
ambience.
Oh, wait, okay, wait.
We're effectively
3,
doing the same
2,
thing by Hugo
1.
rolling. Just rolling on a
16!
very nice.
Well, I was going to use a phrase which I can't use because it is patented. So instead, I'm going to say, "What happens now?" As the
I wonder what
last
phrase that could be.
The last of these, I have no
Quite
idea.
What events follow?
What events follow as the last of these creatures is just roiling back and forth, and you.
So after missing the last time, Rizzy's like, alright, and like musters up all her energy and does like a double-handed guiding bolt. And it sort of like loops around the back of the creature and then sticks it in the back.
Awesome. So this green energy shoots forth towards this creature, and as you say, splits off, comes around the back, and as it like leans forward to make one last attack against Missy, and you just see this green energy, this spiky green energy just explode through its chest, and some of this dark blue blood is splattering onto you.
Sorry!
And then it falls down and it collapses on top of
Why
Missy.
would you make the bolt come from behind it when I'm in front of it?
I don't know, it looks cool.
Ah!
And with that, the combat has ended, and a huge cheer goes up from the crew and the passengers on the deck. So now with the creatures lying dead in the water around you, 3 of them, their lifeless bodies bobbing in the shallow reef, dark blue blood pooling around them. There's a cheer that goes up from the crew on the deck of the Saltwind, and then it is quieted by Captain Rashan leaning over the railing and saying, "Come aboard, you two. 3, 2. How many of you are there? I can't see."
Just two.
Yes, come aboard, please. I'd like to speak with
What? No.
Do you want the bodies?
you. No, that's quite all right. Thank
Missy,
you, though.
do you want the bodies?
No, I don't want... No. Do I want the bodies? You know what? I will take a body. Thank you for asking.
I'm gonna walk back to the thing, being more careful this time, rage off, and just pull it in the water.
Yeah.
And the other one as well.
You
just
drag
towards
this,
me.
this limp fish
And
like
I'll go to the one with
creature
the neck
behind
broken
you.
as well.
I'm gonna like lie down and just like splash some water to clean off some of the blood, which was thrown onto me, thankfully, by Rizzy.
I saved your life.
Did you?
So the pair of you climb up the rope ladder, you dragging one of them behind you. I imagine your strength is probably more than enough. So you climb up the rope ladder, the crew holding it steady, and as you come up, a half-orcish man reaches down, gives you a hand, helps you onto the deck, and then as you come up, a half-elvish woman steps up and helps you onto the deck as well. That was mighty impressive, love. Up you come. Helps you onto the deck.
Mace,
And then-
take that body down to my office, will you? I'm gonna have a peek around.
Okay.
So,
Do that.
as the two of you climb onto the deck and you regroup with the other three, the passengers and the crew crowd around you and start to applaud, and Captain Rashan is standing there with a grin on their face, hands behind their back, and they nod to you all and... Well, please allow me to extend my humble thanks for your services in saving what you could of our crew. It is a shame that we had to lose one of them, of course, but you've all proven yourselves as being rather capable. I think a formal introduction is in order. My name is Captain Rashan. I am at your service. You're aboard the Salt Wind, my faithful vessel, and it is a pleasure and a privilege to have you on board indeed. Remind me of your names, please. I did get them when you boarded, but...
My name is Miss Randas Keltheladron, but you can call me Dr. Missy or even Professor Missy.
Dr. Missy. A pleasure. And yourself?
Archie.
Archie.
Archie's the name. Playing games is the game.
Gives you a quizzical look for a moment and then Archie. A pleasure. And yourself, little one?
My name is Amalda Notwise Notris, and I killed one of them all by myself.
Yes, rather shocking.
Yeah, I
But-
screamed at it too. It was really fun. Has anyone seen Smelly Belly?
The smelly belly appears from behind the mast and just
I run over to her.
cautiously creeps over to you. And yourself, Mace. I saw you below deck earlier. Quite handy with that maul of yours.
Thank you. Are you going to pay us?
Unfortunately, no, but I am forever thankful and please, yourself first before we go any further.
Yes, my name's Rizzy.
Rizzy.
Thank you,
Rizzy.
Captain.
A pleasure. A pleasure. Thank you all once again. I would like to do the honor of introducing you to four of my best and brightest on board the ship. And the half-orc, the half-elf that helped the two of you onto the deck, they approach, as well as a big, rotund minotaur who just come stepping across, and a tabaxi also approaches, which is also like a cat person, but more has a demeanor of a leopard more than a lion, as opposed to the Leonin. And Captain Rashan gestures to each of them, gesturing to the half-orc first. This is my first mate. This is Renath. He is very capable and has been with me for a very long time. And the half-orc, pleasure to meet you all. And this here is Quartermaster Van Kane, gesturing to the half-elf. She knows her way around a map like no one I've ever met before, and she's a very valuable asset to the crew. Mighty fine work down there. The two of you and the three of you as well. You certainly have your handle on colour. I can tell you that much.
What?
And this is Bosun Kiris, gesturing to the Minotaur, who is and doesn't say anything else. And this here is our hey.
Friendly fellow.
Yes, indeed. Bosun Kiris is a woman of short words, but knows her way around the ship and repairs like no other.
I'm gonna walk up to Bosun and be like, hold out a fist to pump.
Looks at it for a moment. Oh yeah, I don't know what this is. And connects with a very meaty.
That's disgusting.
And this, of course, is our wonderful cook Wave on the shore, and the tabaxi with a rather kind of dismissive demeanor looks to you on. Nice work. You can call me Wave. Well, given you've all proven yourselves capable, I think it would be the least that I can do is offer you a strong drink in my quarters this evening. And please, we're going to be at shore we're going to be at sea for another 12 days at least. If you're interested in some work, keeping yourselves occupied, and perhaps making a few extra coins on the journey, please see any one of these four, and I'm sure they'll be able to drum up some work for you. Once again, thank you very, very much. You
Actually,
valuable assets.
now you bring it up, I wouldn't mind a bit of compensation for keeping the kids entertained on the boat so they're not a hassle.
Oh, yes, of course. You've done rather well at that. Well, unfortunately, that's not really my responsibility. I'd say you'd have to talk to their parents about
That's what they all say.
getting some kind of compensation.
Archie, can I have a strong drink as well?
Yeah,
She
whatever.
said strong drink.
Yeah, it's fine.
No,
I'm not allowed-
no, it's
No.
not Archie.
Well, she's got to
Mum lets
start.
me have it all the time.
Got to
Sometimes,
start
Well-
sometimes.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not.
but I'm older than I look, and I look up at Missy from my minuscule height.
I'll make a compromise with you. You can't have a strong drink. We'll make you up something nice, but Smelly Belly can.
Really?
Yeah. We'll put some rum into a little bowl for him.
Is this going to be like another one of your little experiments, except with my cat?
No, I would never do that.
Well, I'll leave you to it, shouts out to the crew. Back to work, let's get this ship moving again.
Anyone that got hurt, please come down to my office. I'll patch you up as best I can.
I'm making
I'll come
my
with
way
you.
with one of the Sahuagin over my shoulders.
Wonderful. I'm gonna... Yeah, come on down.
Renath, the half-orc, walks alongside you and offers a hand with carrying the body. And he... Nasty. We call them sea devils. They're pretty horrible things. Known to attack ships and raid coastal villages.
Pretty easy to kill.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you think so. And walks with you, claps you on the shoulder. And with that, a few more, about half an hour goes by before the ship is dislodged and begins to sail once again. And I think that is where we will end our first session of the Dirty 20 podcast.
Oh my gosh.
What we're going to do as a tradition for ending these episodes is I will give out something we have coined the Dirty 20, which is a 20-sided dice. I was going to buy some like nice metal dice for it, but I haven't got around to that, so someone can just have this $3 set of dice that I bought on wish.com.
That I've always wanted.
But what they can do with this for the next session, if they roll and they're unhappy with the roll and they think it's important enough, they can use this Dirty 20 to roll again with advantage. So it's very powerful. And the way that I decide who this goes to is whoever I think, or we collectively think, had a really good combat moment or a really good roleplay moment or just had a good moment of play gets the Dirty 20. And I am going to give the first ever Dirty 20 to Archie. For the role play that you had with Mace on the deck about the bedding.
Great.
I think that was a really nice embellishment.
I gotta watch my back now.
And with that, I think some thank yous are, of course, in order. Isha, did you want to kick us off?
Yes, first of all, thank you to the wonderful artists who have helped us with creating our logo and group portraits, all that stuff, which will be available online on a platform at some point in our lives. So After Dusk _art is one of her handles on Instagram, and the other one is at Ninja Drinking Tea on Instagram. Check out their work; it's gorgeous, and we're very happy with what they've done for us.
It's very pretty.
Go follow them.
Yes,
Do it.
follow them.
Good.
Please.
I dare you. We should mention that the incredible intro music and outro music was done by our very own Solomon Rumble for the most part, and we did have
Not just I.
Not just yourself, yes.
I would like to thank Henry Lucas, a dear friend, beloved, which you will be missed.
Did he die?
He put a lot of work into the intro.
Yeah. I don't know how Instagram works, so I don't know a handle, but the name is Henry Lucas. Give it a go.
Try and find him if you're ever in
See what-
Melbourne.
see what comes up.
Yeah, so a great musician. They helped us with mixing, finishing off the song, producing the song, mastering. Yeah, so thanks for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Henry. And of course, thank you to all of you guys. Thank you for listening.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Fraser.
Thank you.
And follow at Dirty 20 Podcast on Instagram. We will also have a Twitter, which will go live soon.
Eventually.
And when that happens, we'll tell you where to follow that.
We'll also have a World Anvil at some point, hopefully.
In our lives.
I'm sure we will.
Should we also thank, I don't know, Wizards of the Coast or something like this?
I don't... Thank you, Wizards of the
Team.
Coast.
When they sponsor our
When they
podcast,
sponsor-
we'll thank them.
Just really quickly
Everyone
as
tweet
well.
at Wizards of the Coast, tell them to sponsor us.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Please do that.
Well, I thought our Twitter was solely for nudes.
Oh. So we didn't update you.
That's going to be the dirty
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter that eventually goes live.
Coming out at a later date.
Yeah.
No, but I did want to
Patreon.
say a really quick and very sincere special thank you to everyone who's listened today, because this is very exciting for us all, and we're just navigating our way through it and figuring it all out, and I'm having a blast, and these guys all are as well. So thank you so much for listening all the way through. And if you enjoyed this, these first couple of months for us are really important. So if you like the podcast, please give us a rating and a review on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you know someone who might be interested in this stuff, recommend us to them. Even if you think they won't be interested, just get them to listen anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your enemies.
Yeah.
Why not? Try to reconnect with a lost lover.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you,
And we will
guys.
see you next week.
See you next
on
time.
the Dirty 20 podcast.